Hello again, it's me and I'm going to talk to you now about What Is This, which was our photographic challenge for June. So, as ever, I have put my favourites selection into a collage here, and we will, without further ado, start going through them. Quite an interesting colour palette on this collage, isn't it? It all kind of seems to sit together quite well, which is just a coincidence, but it's quite interesting as well. So this one had me stumped for ages, and I had to go back and actually look at Liz Kenny's explanation of what it was, and I actually don't understand it even when I've read it. So it is the domed bubble caps from a section of a distillation column that's suspended from the ceiling of the Catalyst Museum in Widnes. Okay, so, but it's an interesting shot. I think unless you'd actually been there and happened to look up at the ceiling, you would never have guessed what this was. When I first looked at it, I thought it was potentially cakes. And then I realised it was too uniform and wasn't cakes. But I like it. I like the fact that she's put it into black and white, and just the fact that it had us baffled. And she's filmed the frame with it, but she's got that interesting hexagon shape in it as well. So thank you for that, Liz. And then we've got this, another one from Liz, which it wasn't too hard to guess, but I love the composition of this. There's a uniformity to it somehow. Our eye likes diagonals, and we've got the strong diagonal going through here. It's kind of... it's informal balance, I would say. The image feels balanced, and I think it's because we've got some symmetry going on here. So we've kind of got two halves to the image here. We've got two halves to the image here. We've got balance provided by this darker shape here and this darker shape here, which is a grip for when you're climbing on a piece of equipment. So that's what we're looking at. I love the simplicity of it, the strong lines and shapes, the repeating circles. So I think you really nailed that, Liz, and had a good eye for a great shot there. So well done. Then this one by Helen Anderson. It didn't take too much guessing from all of you to know what it is. It's the Shard in London. But what I liked about it, well, there are a number of different things. I love the repeating patterns in the foreground here, and the way that they are on a diagonal, taking your eye to the Shard. And then you've got a contrasting pattern here in the background, but again, very sort of repeating pattern, very uniform. And then there's the colour palette as well. All these sort of different shades of blue, and then the fact that she's filled the frame with what she's taken as well. So another one that wasn't hard to guess, but great composition. Then we have this one by Paula Chatterton, which everyone guessed straight away as being little jelly gummy sweets. And I just liked the colour. I liked the choice of subject and the muted colours running through it. And it's a good abstract shot. It's lacking some quality, I think, and there may well, I'm not exactly sure where we're sharp. It could be here. They do, the more you look at it, it does look like these, it's giving me the creeps actually, it could be like these heads of snakes and they're all writhing around. So there's that one from Paula, thank you for that. And then this was a really interesting shot by Helen Anderson. I think potentially it's been heavily cropped because we've not got great quality, but the heavy crop helps render it abstract and makes you want to know what it is, but I would have been tempted to shoot it with a macro lens, but obviously we have what we have with us at the time when we shoot. And this ended up being the viewing binoculars in America somewhere, I think. It's a great colour palette with this pink and the creams, and a great abstract shot. Just a pity that it couldn't have been shot with a macro, but I love the concept of it, Helen. Then we have this one, which was a really good one for what is this in terms of intriguing people. And again, I had to go back and work out what it was. It is a flower made from whittled willow, and I think the interesting story about this is Lisa watching this being made and taking some shots of the process as well. So if that interests you, you could go back and have a look at that. So nice one, Lisa. Nice curves radiating out from here. Again, not great quality, and I suspect again it's heavily cropped and maybe a phone shot. I'm not sure. Okay, nice one from Vicky with this close-up of part of her favourite rattan chair. Well, we've got a really good repeating pattern, and we've got diagonal lines going from left to right, bottom left to top right, which we tend to like. We've filled the frame, yeah, again, compositionally, it's a great shot. This one, another one where it doesn't take us long to figure out what we're looking at. It's a hairbrush, obviously, by Beryl, but I love the idea of shooting in the way that she has done. It's pin sharp here. It's a really great angle, and I love the symmetrical, formal balance of this shot as well. So nice composition there, Beryl. Well done. Then we have this shot by Emma Kate, and this is something to do with Jodrell Bank, on the top of Jodrell Bank, and I chose it because I like the composition of it and I like the colours within it, the simplicity. So just picked out an interesting detail. It's a good one for making people guess what it is, because a lot of you have probably seen it but then not really remembered. Scale is interesting, isn't it? Because it could be any size, and then you see this ladder going up here. So what really would have made this a cracking shot would have been somebody standing here, wouldn't it? You'll have to go back and stalk it, Emma, and wait until there's actually a man or a woman standing there. Okay, and then we have this one from Jackie Gilman, and again, it's with these what is this shots and trying to fool the eye and trick people. It's all about angles, isn't it? Either angles or close up, and this is from within the hive at Kew, shooting upwards, and it looks mechanical, industrial, and it is a very arresting image in terms of the way that it draws the eye and the circles and the textures and the colours. So that's a great view there, Jackie. And then this is my favourite. This is from Alexis Walters. Hello, Alexis. I'm not sure that we've sort of welcomed you on Love Your Lens before. I really like this shot. This is a puddle with oil and water. I suppose we have to bear in mind when I pick my favourites that all of us have a favourite genre. We all have we're subjective. It's very hard to be objective when looking at photography. I do my best, but this one really is my sort of thing, I would say. One of my favourite books is by a guy called David Ward, and it's called The Landscape Within. So rather than shooting big wide landscapes, he'll shoot detail within landscapes. So it's still there in the land, but it is a detail within that landscape, and I would say that is very much what this is. So you've got formality to it, a balance, because we have a circle in the centre that is more or less split in half by this marking on here as well, but it's just slightly off centre, slightly on an angle, which piques our interest. And then we have all these beautiful textures and colours within the image on the outside, and then the dominant colour of the oil and the water and the beautiful patterns and textures within here. So sorry if I sound like I've gone off on one a bit, but this is the sort of image that really does do it for me. Well done, Alexis. Really like that. Ticks the boxes on composition, interest, and meeting the challenge. So I'm really pleased to see that image, and welcome to the group. This month of July, we are now looking at the theme of daily. So anything that represents your daily life. or someone else's daily life, I guess. But very much it's immediately obvious straight away that this is something that happens on a daily basis. It is of routine. So try and avoid snapshots if you can. Think about your composition, the light, and get it technically correct as well, making sure that your image is sharp, well exposed. And then you will have, and tell a story, make us really clear what we should be looking at, how we should be feeling. Should we be laughing? Should we feel sad? Should we be interested? Should we ask a question? All of those things will help you create an image that is striking and grabs people's attention. So I'll get off my soapbox now and go and have a cup of coffee in this lovely sunshine. Thank you very much for participating, and I look forward to seeing your images next month. And well done everybody who contributed, and to those who I selected as favourites as well. Thank you. And now I've got to work out how to pause this because my little box has disappeared.